Okay, it's your boy Foxador back again for another World Cup roundup. You know how we do it here. Weekly or daily, I don't even know anymore, but we're gonna be doing reports on the World Cup regular. Okay, and you know what? I'm here. You can check the t-shirt out. You know why I'm here to support England, so we're gonna be following them in particular. But saying that, there has been a lot of developments in other groups. So I'm going to do a little quick roundup of some of the games since I last spoke to you, which was basically when England destroyed Croatia. So since then, we've had Brazil getting their first win of the tournament. Kind of a disappointing opening game for Brazil. You know, Brazil have so much talented players offensively. They're really kind of weak in midfield. I would say they're not really good at getting the ball to their attackers, who are, of course, world class. But we saw them get their first win against Haiti, and it was an emphatic win. I thought, don't get me wrong, they need to beat Haiti. It's Brazil. They should be smashing Haiti. And that's exactly what they did. They had loads of chances. I don't think they were overly impressive, but considering the opposition, I think they should have won anyway. But I would say, you can't go wrong watching that attacking force really go for it. I was happy to see Cunha get his goal. What a left foot goal for that second goal in particular. Him and Vinny linking up really well, and of course Vinny gets his goal at the end, and the goalkeeper makes like a really random run out there when he tries to save that Vinny goal. But yeah, no, I thought they played well. Vinny and Cunha really linking up well. Still no sign of Neymar. I'm not sure we're going to see Neymar. There's loads of jokes about Neymar being way too injured for this tournament. I think people might be right. Now it's hard to see. I'm just happy Neymar's there. If I'm being honest with you, this is going to be his last big tournament, maybe his last, big event of football in general. I mean, how long has Neymar got left of his career at all? Kind of a sad story with Neymar. He's one of those classic Brazilian people or players that have really had a sharp spike in their career, and then a really short flame and a slow decline, mainly due to injuries. We saw it with R9. We saw it with other Brazilian players as well, but kind of sad with Neymar. It feels like he peaked quite early, and at his best, of course, Neymar was brilliant. It would be nice to see him pop in at one point, maybe a 10-minute spell at the end of a game. I think that's the best we're going to see, but who knows? You never know. Football's romantic like that. We might get a little bit of Neymar magic at the end of a game once, but they're definitely going to be relying on Vinny, Cunha, and Rafinha in particular to be getting them goals. Martinelli as well almost scored a goal as well. So yeah, Brazil get their first win. Can't go wrong with that. Then I'd like to talk about the Netherlands. So Netherlands, again, not the best display. Before the tournament, I was kind of pegging the Netherlands as being a bit of a dark horse in this tournament. Netherlands never won a World Cup. Loads of history with football. Loads of great footballers. The squad is stacked with great footballers, and they really showed it in this game against Sweden, who are also a very, very solid squad. Sweden got some really good players as well, so this was a good game beforehand. But I thought this was going to be a very competitive game, especially seeing as Netherlands weren't too impressive in their first one. But can I just say, Netherlands really went for this. And to me, they are still my dark horses. Keep an eye on Netherlands. Keep an eye on Netherlands. They have a very solid squad, very good mix of experienced players and young players, athleticism mixed with football technical players. So yeah, gonna be good to see them. I still think they're a bit shaky in defense, but they got some of the best players in their positions. Okay, and one standout in this game was Brobby. This Brobby guy, he's come out and he's done the Lukaku. He's pretty much really held and bullied those centre backs for Sweden and held that central point. Just a problem for any centre back pairing, because he's physical, he's going to occupy you, and he's making those runs in. So he gets 2 goals quite early. I would say Sweden kind of come back a little bit after that in the form of play, but ultimately, the players that I expected for Sweden to really show out, players like Isak and Gyökeres, they didn't get it done. They didn't get it done, and It was nice to see Gyökeres, not do much again. I've seen it all season, even though he's won a Premier League. But their actual Sweden's best player for me was Elanga off the bench. He was the most. I think he's shoo-in for a start in the next game. They're going to have to start him because he did more than any other player in that team. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough because the Netherlands put them to the sword, just like England did to Croatia in the second half, and had a great show out. We had some real standouts from De Jong. Gravenbach was immense. I thought there was a move in there for the third goal where brilliant. He sets up Dumfries, and Dumfries sets up Gakpo. And Gakpo, of course, clinical for two of his goals. Lethal player. And yeah, that combination of Gravenbach, Dumfries, Gakpo, De Jong, Brobby, Somerville as well, wicked player. There's a chance of him going United as well, so I'll be interested to see him more. But yeah, no, they were on fire. They were on fire. They were really offensive, really dangerous, free-flowing football, and a statement from the Dutch team. So I'm excited to see them. I'll be happy to see them go far in the tournament, if I'm being honest, because I've always liked Dutch football, and I've always liked some of these Dutch players as well. So I'm excited to see more of the Dutch, and I think actually they're gonna surprise a few people. Someone who surprised me in a bad way was Germany. I thought Germany, they played Ivory Coast. Really even game against Ivory Coast. You'd expect Germany to be the better team against Ivory Coast. Really overplaying the ball a lot. And it was pretty much even for the majority of the game. 1-1 ended up being. And then right at the end, we had Under getting that winner right at the end, I think in the 93rd minute. So yeah, Germany not looking great, but I suppose Ivory Coast is a fairly good team, so a win's a win, and we move on from that. But I think, yeah, Germany kind of unimpressive to me, unlike the Dutch. I thought the Dutch did really well, actually. All right, cool. I'm going to move on now and talk a little bit about England. So that was a bit of roundup for the other game, so we're here to talk about England. And the Three Lions and how they're going to get on. Of course, they had that statement win earlier on in the week. And yeah, I think everyone here in the country is on a high. Everyone's excited again. They're singing the song, "Is It Coming Home?" What do you think? Leave a comment. I'm starting to think it could be. I definitely think this group is wrapped up. And I think we faced the best opposition in this group, especially after watching the other game with Ghana. So coming on to Ghana, we've got Ghana now as our next game, I believe on Tuesday, the 9th. Ghana will be a different challenge to Croatia for England, but ultimately, if I'm being honest with you, from what I saw of Ghana, I actually think they are probably worse than Croatia. They're not as developed as Croatia. They're not as well coached as Croatia. And I actually think England are going to have an easier job with Ghana than we did with Croatia, and we won that 4-2. So I don't think Tuchel and Kane or any of the boys have got much to worry about with Ghana, and I'm looking for another emphatic display when it comes to Tuesday the 9th and that game against Ghana. As far as changes go, it seems like Saka's training on his own. That's what reports are saying. So I don't think we're going to see Saka starting. We'll probably get Madueke in again. But I do think there will be a change on the left wing. I think Rashford will probably come in and start now. I think him and Anthony Gordon were kind of a toss-up either way. And I think because of the display in the first game, I think Rashford might have earned a start. Depending on how things go, I think we could get a goal early. And I think after that, I can see us I can see Tuchel kind of playing around and giving some people some opportunities. We may get to see Maino get a chance midfield, especially if Rice is a bit of an injury worry. I don't think he's going to play the full game. If he's a bit of an injury worry, they might want to arrest him. So I can see Maino coming in. I'd like to see Maino, actually. And Morgan Rogers as well for Bellingham. I think they might rest Bellingham as well, especially if we get a couple goals early. And I think we will. If I'm being honest with you, I can't see Ghana really troubling England at this point. We're going to be on a high. They're going to be scared of us. I think a lot of teams are going to be scared of us after that first display, especially against Croatia. So yeah, I'd expect Rashford to start. I think Mark Gay might start as well in defence. A bit shaky in defence, so might give him a run out. I think pretty much besides that, everything else will stay the same. Unless Rice is injured, then maybe Mainu might come in from the start. But I do think we're going to see Mainu and Morgan Rogers get a bit of a kick about. We might even see some more changes and some more faces coming in and out of the squad just to keep the morale nice and high. And I think I'm expecting an emphatic win against Ghana. Fun fact about Ghana. They played Panama in their first game, and I honestly thought it was it was a poor display from Ghana. Panama, like what is Panama known for? Panama's known for the canal. I mean, it's a tiny country in the middle of Central America. Like Ghana should be beating Panama, in my opinion, and they took it right to the last minute. And they had terrible possession stats. They did win, but they had to take it right to the end, and it was a really scrambled goal. Really lucky to win that game against Panama. So I don't envisage them causing England any problems at all. And I actually think they're gonna finish third. Probably they're not even gonna finish second. I think Croatia will do a better job on Panama. And fun fact, actually, that game against Panama, Ghana only had 37% of the ball. 37% possession against Panama. Absolutely horrendous from Ghana. So it seems like they're going to be trying to counter-attack England at best. So England's going to have a lot of the ball against Ghana. I'm expecting to see some free-flowing game. They're going to get a lot of touches, a lot of time to get comfortable in the end of the game. So I'm excited to see some possession play from Tuchel's side. And yeah, like I said, I'm expecting goals from England. So yeah, putting that down as a win, little prediction. And I thought just for the sake of it, I thought it would be interesting at this point in the podcast to maybe go into what I predict my group winners are going to be. Now, I think at this point in the tournament, there's no point in predicting every stage of the game. I might do that a little bit later on. But I think as of now, we've seen a couple of games. I'm just going to predict the group winners. You can take it to the bank. You know Foxador doesn't do you wrong, okay? So I've looked at it. I've looked at these groups. I'm going to tell you the winner of each group based on where we are at right now. I'm going to say what I predict the winners of each group are going to be. So, Group A, the winners are going to be Mexico. Group B, I think the winners are going to be Canada. Group C, my winner is Morocco. Some people might be saying Brazil in that one. I think Morocco because I think they're going to have a better outing against... I don't know who Brazil drew against. I forgot now, but it wasn't a great team. So I think Morocco are going to win that group. I think Brazil will come second. You never know. D, I'm going USA. USA have had a good start to the tournament. E, even though I just kind of didn't say they said they were very unimpressive, I'm still going to pick Germany. Group F, I'm going to pick Netherlands now. G, now G's an interesting one, a hard one to pick because they've all got 1 point at this point. I think they've all drawn. Kind of a boring group at this point. But it's a toss-up between Belgium and Egypt, Group G. And I'm going to probably go Belgium. So Group G, Belgium to win it. Group H, again, another one with all draws, kind of unimpressive. But I'm going to go Spain. Group I, I'm going to go France. Group J, I'm going to go Argentina. Group K, kind of an interesting one as well. Portugal had a bad showing. Before the tournament, I would have said Portugal. Now I'm going to say Colombia. Colombia have done really well. I've actually just got a Colombia kit. That retro one. The one that Ian Wright was wearing. But, yeah, I think Colombia are going to win that group. I think Portugal will probably come second. And Group L, I'm going to pick England. Obviously. Come on, the boys. Speaking of L's to England, and Croatian L's to England in particular, on this channel we speak about all sport, okay? We speak about football and boxing. And it's just been announced that another Croatian's going to be taking an L to another British man, and that is Hrgović against Itauma. Moses Itauma, the young British boxing prodigy. if you're not familiar with Moses Itauma, then you need to get familiar. This guy is a prodigy here in the UK, and he's coming for the heavyweight title very, very soon. He's to face off against, a seasoned veteran, 34 years old, Hrgović. I think it's August 29th they're going to be fighting. I just want to talk a little bit about it. I think, we're used to at this point seeing Croatians take L's to English. But I think we're going to see another L here. I do think this is going to be Moses Itauma's hardest fight, though. This is a big step up. Moses Itauma, I think, 2021, very young. And Hrgović, a seasoned veteran, coming off a couple of good wins. Of course, Hrgović had that loss to Daniel Dubois, which I think most people are familiar with. So Daniel Dubois was getting smashed to pieces by Hrgović in the first couple of rounds, but Hrgović kind of punched himself out in a weird way and then ended up getting stopped on cuts at the end of the fight. So, but Hrgović, not to be taken lightly, especially by a young fighter like Moses Itauma, and I'm excited to see that fight. But again, I do think Itauma's going to have way too much for Filip Hrgović. I think Hrgović is going to be too slow, and I think Moses Itauma's going to light him up. But yeah, very good fight to see. I'm happy that Moses Itauma's actually fighting someone like Hrgović. I think it's a really good step up, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. But yeah, I'm predicting another British win there against a Croatian. Yeah, all right, cool. And I think that's pretty much all I had to say. I mean, I'm here today. It's late at night. I think the main news going on here in the UK is that the Prime Minister, Starmer, is about to be resigning as Prime Minister. For those who don't know, Starmer's like the Prime Minister right now. Everyone hates him. No one likes Starmer. So it's another thing for the British people to celebrate. They've been getting, the Starmer actually, he's in the Labour Party. He's been getting like annihilated by Reform and Nigel Farage. Shown complete no spine in his leadership so far. Backpedaling in everything he said and thought, tried to do, and everything like that. I think he's lost his whole party. They've kind of committed a full mutiny on him. And they're about to turn on him and get him out, and he's about to, I think, walk out. So, exciting times for England. For those that like Starmer, good luck to you, mate, because I don't think he's surviving the night. And if he is, he's not surviving longer than a couple months. Unless they want Reform to win and take over the country, which is going to happen if Starmer stays. So, they're going to force him out, I reckon. And they've got this new guy coming in, so we're going to see what's going to happen. But yeah, for those who don't know, I might have some harsh political opinions coming soon as well on my Patreon, not over here. But we'll get to that another time. This is a sporting channel. But yeah, it's your boy, Foxador, back again. And let me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to do a couple shorts. I'm going to try to do a couple lives. Try to get my Patreon going again. Yeah, so leave some comments. What do you think about England? What do you think about Brazil? What do you think about Netherlands? Are they the dark horses? Who are your dark horses? Okay, what do you think about Germany? Unimpressive. And what do you think about England in the next game against Ghana? How do you feel about that? But anyway, I'll catch you later. Over and out. And make sure you subscribe, okay? Boop, boop, boop.